Good afternoon, everybody. It is Thursday, March 26th, and we're going to do our 7th hour prayer. But before we do so, we want to pray for Shelley Griffin's mother-in-law. Shelley works in the script office. Let's pray for her mother-in-law who's been placed in hospice care. She's not been doing very well, and if something happens during this quarantine, they wouldn't be able to have a funeral at all. So let's pray for Shelley Griffin, for her mother-in-law, for their family during this difficult time, and for all families that are struggling because of this virus, again, whether it's because of unemployment, health concerns. Let's pray for them today. So let's go ahead and shut down for a little bit. Let's quiet down. Close our eyes. Take a few relaxing breaths. Feeling the cool air come in. Hold it for a second and exhale. Let's do it again. Hold it and exhale. Sometimes it's during occasions of stress where we almost forget to breathe and our breathing gets very shallow. As we take these relaxing breaths, it can help us to kind of slow down, to focus, to let go, even if it's for a moment, all the stuff we have going on in our lives and in our world. Today I'd like to read a portion of a devotional to you that I think is insightful for all of us. So I'm going to go ahead and read a portion of it. It talks about today's gospel and how the Jews, some of the Jewish leadership were challenging Jesus and his testimony. And Jesus is saying, basically, you don't hear my Father's voice. And he said, I know that you do not have the love of God in you. I know you do not have the love of God in you. Sometimes I believe that, I know that God is trying to speak to us, and sometimes we don't hear his voice because of busyness or temptations or worries. I'd like you to read a part of a devotional and just allow these words maybe to sink in to your heart and your soul. These are some messages that we believe that God is trying to speak to us. You are my beloved child. I love you unconditionally. Just as I call this to be God speaking to us, just as I call Jesus my beloved son, so too you are my beloved child. I am pleased with you. I created you out of love, and you bring me much joy simply because of who you are. The next one. You are my redeemed child. I have saved you from sin. I know how you sometimes struggle to believe that I have forgiven you. I also know how easy it can be to remain locked in guilt or shame. But I want you to believe that my mercy is for you. So when you wonder if I have really forgiven you, remember that I died for love of you. And lastly, you are my treasured child. You have a future full of hope. It can be easy to slip into thinking that things will never change or to worry about problems. I don't want you to be anxious. Believe all things will work for your good and continue to place your hope in me. So these three truths: you are my beloved child. I love you unconditionally. You are my redeemed child. I have saved you from sin. And lastly, you are my treasured child. You have a future full of hope. Let's allow these truths to seep into our souls. Sometimes we feel unworthy, discouraged, or tempted to believe the devil's lies. Let your Father testify to you, to who you are. Let his testimony be the truth that you cling to. Let's pause for the next minute or so as we allow these truths to enter into our lives. So if I were to summarize these, we are loved, we are forgiven, and we have a future full of hope. Let's allow God to testify these to us, that we may cling to these truths, especially when we may get discouraged or down or bored or whatever it is we got going on in our lives. Let's continue to pray for each other, our world, and our school. This concludes our prayer. Hope you have a beautiful day. Maybe go out and get a walk, as it's supposed to be 58 and cloudy. God bless you and your family. Bye.